All music is the same. It's just a new set of lyrics and a new backbeat.
So, Beth,
yes.
Thanks a lot for taking time out to have a chat with me.
Thank you, absolutely.
Right, AndreGraziadei here for the Backbeat Experience in a chat with the fabulous Beth Hart. And, well, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata was what got you hooked on music.
Yes.
What about incorporating classical music into your work?
Well, I feel like I've had, there's several songs that have been sprinkled throughout records and some things that I have not put out that definitely are influenced by classical. For instance, there's a really large and long dramatic bridge in a song called Crashing Down, which is completely influenced by classical. Yeah, so there is some of that, but maybe I could do more.
I think of Whiter Shade of Pale by Procol Harum.
Oh, God. How gorgeous is that?
Absolutely.
I know.
It's totally influenced by classical music.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that song, too, Whiter Shade of Pale, and that made me cry so hard. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you have an amazing, distinctive singing voice. Now, how did that come about?
Oh, well,
I mean,
thank you. That's so nice.
You know, it's
thank
unmistakable.
You.
You know, you hear a song, it's like, that's Beth.
Oh, God, thank you. I don't know, I've had a lot of musical influences, you know, a lot of musicians and a lot of singers, a lot of songwriters from very different genres, and all of them I adore, and I don't think I can really choose one that I love more than the other. I mean, if I had to choose a singer, if I could only take one singer with me to a desert island and listen to that for the rest of my life, it would probably be Etta James.
Etta James.
Yeah.
That's what I figured you'd say.
But there's so many. I just adore male and female. Just fantastic.
Yeah, but I'm regarding in respect to your actual singing style.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hear a song, I know it's you.
Thank
How did you come?
you.
How did you come? Because everybody has their Frank Sinatra took him years to find out his style.
See, I love that you told me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I did hear a quote recently, actually from a young kid, a brilliant young guitar player kid, and he told me that Miles Davis said that it takes a lifetime to become yourself as an artist. And I was just on the phone the other day with my psychiatrist, and I was saying, gosh, I'm feeling really frustrated and I'm really depressed. I don't know what's going on. He goes, because you're still fighting to be yourself as an artist. He said, you still, you know, you have your heroes, and you still bring their personalities, their personas up in your work. And because you feel safe standing behind them instead of standing on your own. He goes, so just keep really working on that and have courage to, you know, to find your own truth and to tell it. So I'm still working on that. I'm still searching for that, you know. Yeah.
Well, Godspeed.
Thank you.
You've experienced the highs and lows of life. Considering the lifestyle you've lived, are you surprised you're not part of the 27 Club? Because you've had some rough times.
Yeah, you know, I still cry when I listen to Amy Winehouse.
Right.
And it's not just because of the fact, here's another beautiful young human being who loses their life to drugs and alcohol. But because it's like surviving a plane crash, and a part of you feels so thankful to God that you survived, but another part of you feels like shamed and guilty, like why did I survive?
Why did I survive?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think about that. You know, I lost my sister to a similar thing. I mean, she really died from AIDS, but she was a drug addict all the way to the end, and that's how she got AIDS, was shooting up. And in losing her, it was before I became full-blown with my addiction. And I remember thinking, I've got to not let that happen to me. You know, I've got to fight that. But it was in my system. I've been messing around with drugs forever. And I ended up going down, you know, a very similar road to that. And thank God, a lot of people helped me. I think most of all, the love my husband had for me then, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. But he had such a love for me that I'd never seen or felt that kind of love except for maybe from my mother. An absolute love that was going to be there no matter what. And at first I didn't believe it, but then he did something, and if I tell you the story, I'll just start crying. I'm not going to do that here.
I'm familiar with it.
I'm a big mush.
I'm familiar
do you know
with
it.
When he
laid on top.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that just kind of made me want to fight back, and but you know, it will always be a bit of a struggle. You know, it's a disease, I believe, that personally I believe stems from bipolar disorder, but whatever. And so that's something to always work on, and to do my best with, you know, to try and remember that every day it really is a miracle when I don't pick up something that harms myself, you know, and to try and embrace all the love around me, because I have a lot of love around me. I don't always see it or feel it, but it's important that I try and remember that every day. Yeah.
Well, you were influenced by a lot of female singers. I mean, of course, you mentioned Etta James, which you love to spend time in Desert Island with.
I love her!
I think of Billie Holiday.
Oh my God.
Who else? Aretha Franklin.
Oh God, yes.
Janis Joplin.
Oh yes.
And I was thinking, what if somebody came to you and approached you with a fictional movie script that kind of set Janis Joplin as if she was alive today, and you would play her part? They kind of did that with Elvis.
Yes. I don't know if I would do a good job in that. I don't think I'm much of an actor, you know.
But that's something you'd like to do.
Why, I don't think that I would. And I'll tell you why. I did an off-Broadway show of her years and years ago when I was in my late 20s. And at first it was really fun because I didn't really get that I was playing a real human being.
Right.
You know, at first it was just all about, oh, I got an off-Broadway show and I'm going to be singing and acting for the first time and this is great. And then once we were doing the show, it just kind of set in how heavy it was. So I think that would be something too difficult for me to do. I don't think I could do it.
No.
I'm too old now.
Oh, come on.
Come on. She was in her 20s.
Yeah, but I'm talking if she were alive today.
Oh, God.
I'm not talking about
if she would
not
have
a biography.
survived, I think if she would have survived, she would have been... I would have gone into all different kinds of genres.
Likely.
She really was so talented, wasn't
Absolutely.
she? Incredible. Yeah. I would have loved to have heard her music later. What she would have done with it.
Oh, that's like John Lennon, God knows how many people. What would they be doing today?
Yeah.
I love the idea of bringing the new album, this burlesque and Rat Pack feel to it. The fact that it's steeped in jazz, blues, and rock tends to cut across to like a wider path of listeners. Is this the first time you get to record with horns?
The first time I got to record with horns was on a record called Leave the Light On. It was a producer named Mike Bradford. It was back in early 2000-ish time period there, and it was on a song called Bottle of Jesus. And I just loved it. And I wanted to do more of it, but I felt funny about the fact that I couldn't afford to have a huge band on stage to tour with. So I kind of gave that up. But when I met and worked with Joe Bonamassa, Kevin Shirley thought it'd be great to put some horns on the first record we did, Don't Explain.
Right.
And that was just awesome. And then he went ahead and did the same when I made Bang Bang Boom Boom with him.
Right.
And I thought about doing those backing tracks where I hook up my drummer to it, and so we're performing on stage and then it's got the horns and everything. I really thought about it, but I was on the fence because, you know, if I was playing for kids more acceptable of that stuff, the backing tracks and all that kind of stuff with live. But people my age or older are not into that. It's fake, right?
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's playback.
It's playback.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, let's just go ahead and let's just perform some of these songs anyway without the horns and see what happens. And thank God, you know, it's been really great. Like we play Spirit of God, we play Swing My Thing, which is a huge horn section.
Right.
And we don't play that with anything, and the audience seems to be cool with it. I mean, they're not throwing cans at us.
It's always the case, if it's good music, in no matter what form, it'll still come across.
Well, thank you.
I mean, that's the bottom line. You can play it on an acoustic guitar, it'll still work.
Yeah, they say a good song is a good song no matter how you put it out there.
No matter how.
Yeah, I heard that.
So you came up with 50 songs, 50 ideas.
About.
Yeah, 11 made it onto the album. What happens to the rest?
Well, they don't die and fade away. They
Well, no, I
always
don't
end up
figure that
finding a way to a record somehow. From the beginning, I've always tended to, you know, I'm always writing or I'm always co-writing. So there's always a huge bucket of songs laying around. For each record coming, though, I usually try and write about 20, 25. And then I've got some others still hanging around. So over the course of time, it always ends up being about 38, 40 songs, maybe 50 songs, still some incompleted or incomplete. So, yeah. And then I just turned them all into Kevin, and, you know, little by little, I turned them in. And it was funny, too, because I was sending him some stuff, and he'd call me and say, I have the feeling you're sending me songs that you think the record company or I would want to record for you, but I don't feel like you're sending me the songs that you really want to sing. So then I started, like, you know, really sending him some of the stuff that I was really in love with, and I was hiding away because I loved it so much. And it was fresh stuff.
It's mine.
It's mine, and I don't want anyone to criticize it or anything, you know, or try and change it. So I was just kind of holding it and being very private about it. And then I relinquished some of that stuff, and some of that stuff was Everything Must Change, Baddest Blues, Swing My Thing. And that was the stuff he really reacted to. It was like, good, I'm glad you turned this in. We're gonna definitely put those songs on the record. So.
But how does it feel now that you've let your babies out into the world?
I'm proud of those little babies. I just love them. And I'm really enjoying playing them on stage, especially on Baddest Blues. It's just the great.
Oh, that's just an amazing song. I think it really... No, we both watched it. You did the Marie show. And you sang it. Oh,
isn't she amazing, Marie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her.
Has she not had any
She's
work
the
done?
neatest lady. I don't know, but I'll tell you, in person, she is, I mean, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous woman.
Mm-hmm.
So kind and sweet, too. Yeah, I love doing that show.
Albums are normally a microcosm of life and where you are at the time. What space were you in when you were recording Bang Bang Boom Boom?
Well, this last 2 years I've done 4 albums, so it's been touring, press, and making records all at the same time. So I think the headspace I was in is what I'm usually like when I go to make a record, and that is terrified that I'm going to ruin it or screw it up or not sing it right or play it right or something, and I love these songs and I want so much to capture it. But one of the great things about working with Kevin Shirley, which I've been really lucky now, I've just done 3 albums with him, is he does things very fast, very fast. You get a record done in 4 to 6 days. And that's it, kid. That's all you get. And because of that thing that he lets us know, it's time to go. You come in prepared because we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll down 4 or 5 songs a day. And then at the end, I'll mix and I'll add horns and strings or whatever, but your performances are gonna be done now. The thing about that is it doesn't allow me to start second guessing and getting in my own way because I don't have time to. So all the getting in my way and all that kind of stuff I do prior. So then once we get there, I don't really get that chance to. And I may be calling him on the phone when mixes are coming in and I'll be like, are you disappointed? Was it awful? And he's just like, you know, no. I asked him the other day, I said, what do you think is my biggest stumbling block in my career as an artist, as a person? And he said, one of the oldest ones in the book, and that is your fear of success. And that you think you don't deserve it and you're not good enough. And he said, I've seen it so many times with so many artists. And I said, well, God, this is just horrible. I said, do you think that I can ever get over it? He goes, yeah, you can. Because you just practice being yourself. Kind of like what my shrink was saying the other day. So, I mean, it sounds easy, but it's not.
So what does success mean to you? If you're so afraid of it, what does it mean to you?
I mean, there's different kinds of success that go on in my head. I think the #1 success that I've dreamed of my whole life, I've had most of my life.
Okay.
Which doesn't scare me, and that is just to get up in the morning and go to the piano and do what you love to do, you know, maybe write a song or just play. And then you get a chance to go on the road and play for people. That is the ultimate, because it's doing what you love, right? But then there's the fame thing, and there's the bigger crowds, and there's playing in different countries, and so that is another level. But then there's the level of when you're an actual star, and people can read about you, like my mom could read interviews, and that scares me.
Right.
Because I got a big mouth, I'm very open about everything, and I guess I get scared that maybe someone in my family or friends would get embarrassed over something I'd say, or something like that, and again, it keeps coming back to being able to really be honest enough with yourself and comfortable with who you are, even if people do respond in a funky way to it. And I think that takes a lot of courage, and that's something I'm still working on. Yeah.
Well, with the success of Don't Explain and now this fabulous new effort, how are you riding the second springtime of your career?
I can't formulate it any other way.
Second springtime of my career. Well, things are definitely busy. And I'm enjoying that, but I got to be careful because of my head.
Okay.
So I'm kind of learning how to rebalance that. I'm really enjoying the fact that I get to work with my husband on the road. We're really enjoying, too, the band, you know, more audiences coming to see us. It's fantastic. I'm a little tired right now, so I still have more work to do. I'm learning how to balance it, you know, take better care of myself out here. But I'm loving it, and the thing that's turning me on the most ever in my life when it comes to music right now is I'm really hungry to challenge myself in new areas musically, vocally, piano, songwriting. And I mean that in chord changes and in mood and vibe, and approach to arranging, and approach to melodies and lyrics and stories, new things that life is inspiring in me, both from a tragic standpoint and from a fantastic miracle standpoint. Life experience. But being able to write about it with different perspective. And I don't just mean the natural perspective of where I am as a human being now, but working beyond that and trying to look at different emotions from different points of view. And kind of, I mean, I don't mean to sound so over analytical, but I guess it's me analyzing my life in a different way, because I want to get so much stronger as a songwriter, as a singer. And I got a lot of work to do. So it's exciting, a very challenging time. I'm willing to really suck, which is the best. You know when you're a kid and you're just starting out and you know you suck.
Right.
But you love music so much, and you're writing and you're doing stuff, and you've got all this compassion, or you've got all this passion and fire about it, you know, and then through the years, you know, sometimes that can wane and you get comfortable on what you know turns people on and what works, so you just do that. So maybe the audience is still enjoying it, but you're getting bored, and you're you know, but you don't have the balls to freaking maybe lose that audience to turning yourself back on and getting more creative and deeper or whatever. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like wanting to be so much more creative and challenged by new work and willing to suck at it. And I think that is such a great place to be in for me right now. It feels really good.
Well, whatever works for you.
Oh well, we'll see.
You just wrapped up work on a follow-up to Don't Explain.
Yes.
What title will that carry? And is it sort of in the same vein as the last album?
Well, it's a covers album of variations of jazz and blues and rock and roll. So that's where it is definitely similar. But I would say overall it's more of a challenge as a record. I mean, we're doing stuff that, and Joe has said the same thing, which, I mean, I felt that way, but I didn't know he felt that way until I sat in an interview with him and he said that. And I was like, right on, that's good. We're doing a song, you know, Strange Fruit, where there's famous Billie Holiday Strange Fruit, but then there's also this killer Nina Simone version of Strange Fruit, the most amazing version I'd ever heard. So we didn't, you know, copy those versions, but it was, I think, more influenced by the Nina Simone version, if anything. And that was an extraordinary piece to do. It's my favorite song on the record.
Was it harder going than the first one?
The second one.
Yeah?
For me, yeah. Yeah. And it was scary on the first one. I broke out in hives.
Yeah, but you did your homework on the first one.
I did my homework on the first one, but I did my homework on the second one too. Shit, I always do my homework. I have to, because my nerves are so shot that at least if I have that, I can get through it. But this one was more so, I think, because the material was more challenging, I think. The material was challenging on the last one too, but this one for me, it was different. Yeah.
So you're going to be touring with Joe. He's going to be doing 4 shows. This mega thing we're going to be filming every evening. You're taking part in that.
Yeah, we start in Bergen. We start rehearsals, and then we do a show in Bergen, and we kind of go around to a few different places, and then we end up in Holland.
Right.
And we do 2 nights at the Carré for a DVD that they're going to film. So I'm really.
What are we going to be doing?
We're going to be doing stuff from Don't Explain,
Okay.
and stuff from the latest record coming out, which I believe is going to be called Seesaw. And then I think we're going to be doing Baddest Blues, which I'm really stoked about doing that.
I'll be stoked to hear that one.
Yeah. And then definitely, you know, one of Joe's tunes. And that's all I know so far. But it's going to be full horns, everything. It's going to be so radical.
But it's supposed to be 4 different bands.
What do you mean?
That's what I heard.
No.
Maybe it's not this tour. Okay, there's a tour he's doing. He's going to be playing 4 different nights with 4 different bands and 4 different lineups.
Oh, how cool is that? Wow.
That's what I heard last Saturday.
Wow, that's cool.
I thought maybe you were being part of that, but
I don't think so.
Maybe you are and you don't know yet.
Maybe I am and don't know it yet. Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
I was checking out your Rock Palace performance from '99, and I must say, 14 years later, you look younger, healthier.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
And
Where am I here? What the hell am I reading? Okay, no, I was here. I was kidding. No. I got the wrong line. There we go. Let's start over.
Okay.
Okay, I was checking out your rock blast performance in '99, and I would say 14 years later, you look younger, healthier, and more relaxed.
Thank you.
But how has your stage performance, in your opinion, changed since then? Since '99?
I think that when I was younger, I felt that if I didn't stomp around a lot and scream at the top of my lungs and bang my body on the floor, that I wasn't demonstrating the kind of strength as an artist is what I wanted to portray.
The powerful.
In other words,
you were trying to bring the powerful.
Well, I think I was trying to protect myself really.
Okay.
And the way I was trying to protect myself was to come across really, really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say that that wasn't honest. That was a character that I think I'd made when I was a young kid as a way to kind of survive in life. And as I've gotten older, which has been so fantastic to be able to see that my greatest power on stage only lies when I'm willing to be vulnerable and to tell a story, not to necessarily scream a story. It's not to say that now I don't still have a good time jumping around sometimes and, you know, belting it out the top of my lungs. That feels great. It's fun. And if it's an aggressive song, I mean, it calls for that. But now I don't know, I'm most enjoying up there when I'm just, you know, conveying a story that where I'm naked, you know, where I've got everything laid out, and it's not that I'm not afraid I'll be hurt, it's that I know that that's a part of life and it's okay, that I'll survive that hurt now, whereas then I didn't think I could. Yeah.
Because the voice is, if you were to just stand there with your voice, the voice is, that's an instrument by itself. If you can carry that off, then all power to you. Somebody coming in?
I think they're knocking on somebody else's door.
Okay. The Kennedy Center Honors was an unbelievable opportunity for you and a chance for the American fans to be reacquainted, to rediscover you.
Yes.
Definitely. Where were you when you got the call for that?
I had just spent the evening partying with Jeff Beck and his wife because I was doing Jules Holland, and Jeff came down to support me doing that show.
Oh, you were in England doing later?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't know Jeff was coming down because Scott's not allowed to ever tell me when family or friends are coming to visit because it makes me really nervous to know they're in the audience. So I saw them and we all hung out that night, and Jeff said, there's something coming up that I'll be giving you a call about over the next couple of weeks. And he invited me to do this really cool thing at Madison Square Garden, which I've never performed before there. I'm going to be doing that with him coming up for Crossroads. He said, but this isn't that. This is something else. And I said, okay, whatever. Right on. Love you. I'll see you later. 2 weeks later, he called me. He said, okay, so I've been invited to play at the Kennedy Center Honors and to honor Buddy Guy. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, well, yeah,
Like
you know what I mean?
completely stoked.
Oh my God. But you know what, like I said to you earlier, I get really, really nervous and freaked out and whatever, insecure about pretty much everything. But about that, I didn't.
Really?
At all. Not at all. And it was so wonderful to experience that because it was a 4-day event.
Right.
So you got to go to the White House and you got to go to the State Department to have the state dinner and all these different things that happen over 4 days and meet the president. And it was just so incredible. And it was like, it was weird because it was like something in my head said, don't miss this. Mm-hmm. Because you get caught up in yourself.
Right.
This is not about you. Know the song. Show up, try and look your best, but it's not. This is about Buddy Guy and Led Zeppelin and these amazing people that have paved the way and done extraordinary work.
Right.
That's what it's about. So I think because of that, I was able to relax and really soak up every moment. It was so funny too, because my husband and I, we were at the State Department eating dinner, and Aretha Franklin is at the table right next to us. Bill Clinton is at the table right across from us. I mean, it's all right there. Tracy Chapman is sitting right next to Scott. And we just looked at each other and we said, what the hell are we doing here?
Pinch me.
They're going to find out about us in a minute. We better enjoy ourselves. We had the nicest time, though. It's incredible.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really great.
So you had a chance to talk to Buddy Guy?
I didn't have the courage to. And at the gala, after the show that night, I did sit at his table. and Bonnie Raitt was there with him, and I got a chance to talk with her quite a bit. But I just couldn't bring myself to. I just felt unworthy. I was like, okay, it's enough. I'm sitting at the table. I'll just enjoy him from across the table.
What about the members of Zep? Didn't talk to them?
No, I got to shake hands with and say hello to Paige. So
Paige, okay.
yeah, so that was really cool. And I got to hang out with you know, pretty much everyone. I mean, the Foo Fighters. I know Taylor really well, and so that was cool. And yeah, so.
But no matter how famous you are, you're always at some point, some amount, always a little bit starstruck.
Oh God! I'm the most starstruck person. Oh yeah. No. I was at a dinner with my husband, and in comes Fiona Apple, and I've got to be one of the biggest Fiona Apple fans of all time. I just think she's extraordinary. And I said, stop eating. Put your fork down. What's wrong? Like, don't speak. Just sit there. Remember, Scott, when Fiona came into the restaurant?
Oh, yeah, she's so. Don't look at her.
Because I just
we're in Copenhagen, and Katie Lang's in the same hotel. So I walk over there to talk to her.
Yeah, he'll
because
talk to anybody.
My friend used to play guitar for her. She said, "Don't go over there." And I went,
"Don't look over there."
I went and talked to her,
Don't
and
go
she
over
was
there.
funny. I go, "We have a mutual friend, John Lowry." And she goes, "You mean Johnny 10?" And I said, "It's Johnny 5 from Marilyn Manson." But yeah, and she's like, "Don't."
We're in the middle of an interview, man. I love ya.
He's filming me.
Hasta luego.
You called me.
Well, she's a famous Canadian too, right?
Katie Lang?
Yeah.
She made Beth cry when we saw her in Copenhagen.
Catherine Dawn Lang.
Yeah, we had to leave the show.
Really?
Well, she sang that Roy Orbison song, and after that, I mean, it just, you can't handle life. It's all over after that.
Fate, luck, and perseverance are an immeasurable part of life. Were it not for Kevin, Shirley, and Joe Bonamassa, where would the stars be guiding you today?
Doing what I've been doing, hopefully, we just. I stopped touring in the United States. Combo of, I didn't feel like I was really wanted there anymore. But who knows? That could have been in my head, and I certainly screwed up things for my relationships with the business. So I started touring in Europe. I don't know, 10 years ago now. But I was only really working in Holland and Denmark, Norway, Germany, Switzerland, a little bit like that. And that was pretty much it, which I love and appreciated so much. But that was it. And then when I worked with Joe, when I made my California record, right before I worked with Joe, that opened things up for me in England. But when I made that record with Joe, things really started opening up. France and different parts of Europe. And now we're pretty much working all of Europe. The States, I've got my first tour in the States now with a record deal there.
Well, I'm sure that the Kennedy Center was your
Very
battle
helpful.
ram, not a foot in the
Huge.
door. That was a battle ram.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And, I didn't expect any of that, too. I don't think I understood what that was. I didn't get it, But now I get it. Yeah, things have been really good. I've been around this business for a while enough to know that it's like this. That's the way it is.
I was checking you out when you were doing Star Search,
Oh, yeah. God, I had the best time doing that show.
And I was watching some of the stuff on YouTube, and I was thinking, okay, it didn't have the 5 or 10 second delay, because sometimes you'd walk off the stage, you're like, oh, fucking right! And then you'd hear it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I picked up on it.
Oh, my God.
But that was just you. That was just you.
I had the best time doing it. Yeah.
You're such a down-to-earth girl who enjoys camping, biking, gardening, cooking.
I love it all.
And
Everything
also
you just said.
deep-sea fishing.
Oh, fabulous.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught? Now, aside from Scott.
I know, aside from Scott, right?
Right.
Well, I remember with my father when I was really young, I caught a gigantic carp. It was huge. But my dad, all these people came around us and looking at it. But my father pulled me aside and he wanted me to tell them a story. That it was not a carp. It was this special fish that no one's ever really caught. And he was a huge bullshitter.
As a prehistoric fish.
Yeah, like a special prehistoric fish. And I was taught by the Indians on how to catch it, how I created my own bait, and it took 10 days to make it. Like, full-on story. And I'll never forget that. I think that's the biggest fish I ever caught. God, I do love to fish, though, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Would you like to cook? I saw you like to gardening. Talking to
I
your plants.
love talking to my plants and cleaning them all up and watering them. And I really feel like, I swear I feel like it's totally spiritual. When I go out in the backyard, and especially after I like weed everything and get everything all cool, and I take the hose and I begin to water, I feel like they're saying, thanks, man. We love you.
You're cleansing us.
Yeah, you're like helping us to live better. It's a total spiritual experience.
But you don't walk around like hugging trees.
I have.
You have?
I have before. I have before. Sorry, I'm a tree hugger. I love nature.
Okay.
It heals me. It's just so amazing. It makes you stop and see how you and all the things that you think are so important about your life are important, but they're not troublesome. They're really, your troubles become like this and your joy becomes like that, you know?
We take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah, I did.
What was the last meal you cooked for Scott?
Well, his birthday, right before we left, so his favorite meal period is chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and milk gravy and green beans and corn, and then he loves German chocolate cake. But he stopped eating sugar almost 7 months ago now. So I had to make a German chocolate cake sugar-free. And I didn't think it was very good. But he was like, this is great, I love it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so bad, but whatever.
Well, there's a new product they have that's a replacement for sugar. What's it called?
Stevia is fabulous.
Yeah.
It's actually really good for you.
Really?
Which I don't know how many people realize that, but it's good for you. Whereas all the other ones,
Saccharin and whatever, that's all.
I think
Chemicals.
some of it, yeah, exactly. And it's not. It's supposed to be pretty good for you.
Let's see now. Well, I think you're a very special person.
Thank you.
An energy who inspires people, and I wish you nothing but health and happiness for the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I was wondering about something. Now that you're more steeped in the blues direction, have you ever heard of the Byron Bay Blues Fest in Australia? You should maybe look into that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Byron Blade?
Byron Bay
Bay?
Blues Fest.
Byron Bay.
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
the East Coast in Australia.
Okay.
Byron Bay is kind of like the Malibu of Australia.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Malibu is
You wanna look
nice,
into that?
isn't it? It's expensive.
Well, I had, my aunt used to live in just up the street in Santa Monica, up the street from Venice Beach.
Oh, yeah. That's
So I've
wonderful.
been there a couple of times.
Venice is the best, I think, of all the beaches. It's just wacky people,
Oh, yeah.
freaks, artists, great. Oh, I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, Beth, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.